he know that I am in this forest, and in man's apparel? Looks he as freshly as he did the day he wrestled?
It is as easy to count atomies as to resolve the propositions of a lover. But take a taste of my finding him, and relish it with good observance. I found him under a tree, like a dropped acorn.
Jove's tree, when it drops forth such fruit.
Give the audience, good madam.
Proceed.
There he lay, stretched along like a wounded knight.
Though it be pity to see such a sight, it well becomes the grass.
Bind the law to thy tongue. It curvets unseasonably. He was furnished like a hunter.
Oh, ominous! He comes to kill my heart.
I would sing my song without a burden. That brings me out of tune.
Do you not know I am a woman? When I think, I must speak. Say on.
That brings me out. Soft comes he not here.
'Tis he. Blink by and note him.
Thank you for your company, but good faith I had as lief been myself alone.
And so had I. But yet, for fashion's sake, I thank you too for your society.
God be with you. Let's meet as little as we can.
I do desire we may be better strangers.
I pray you, mar no more trees with writing love songs on their barks.
I pray you, mar no more of my verses with reading them ill-favoredly.
Rosalind is your love's name?
Yes, just.
I do not like her name.
No thought of pleasing you when she was christened.
Of what stature is she?
Just as high as my heart.
Have you not been acquainted with goldsmiths' wives and conned them out of rings?
Not so, but I answer your right painted cloth, from whence you have your questions.
You have a nimble wit. Think 'twas made of Atalanta's heels. Will you sit down with me, and we will rail against our mistress the world in all our misery?
I will chide no breather in the world but myself, against whom I know most faults.
The worst fault you have is to be in love.
'Tis a fault I would not change for your best virtue. Oh, I am weary of you.
By my troth, I was seeking for a fool when I found you.
He is drowned in the brook. Look but in and you shall see him,
There I shall see mine own figure.
which I take to be either a fool or a cipher.
I'll tarry no more with you. Farewell, good Signor Love.
I am glad of your departure. Adieu, good Monsieur Melancholy.
I will speak to him like a saucy lackey, and under that habit play the knave with him. Do you hear, Forster?
Very well. What would you?
I pray, what is so called?
You should rather ask me the time o' day. There's no clock in the forest.
Then there's no true lover in the forest. Else, sighing every minute and groaning every hour would detect the lazy foot of time as well as a clock.
And why not the swift foot of time? Had not that been as proper?
By no means, sir. Time travels in diverse paces with diverse persons. I'll tell you who time ambles withal, who time trots withal, who time gallops withal, and who he stands still withal.
I prithee, who doth he trot withal?
Married, he trots hard with a young maid between the contract of her marriage and the day it is solemnized. If the interim be but a se'nnight, time's pace is so hard that it seems the length of 7 years.
Who ambles time withal?
With a priest that lacks Latin, and a rich man that hath not the gout. For the one sleeps easily because he cannot study, and the other lives merrily because he feels no pain. The one lacking the burden of lean and wasteful learning, the other knowing no burden of heavy, tedious penury. These time ambles withal.
Who gallops time withal?
With a thief to the gallows. For though he go as softly as foot can fall, he thinks himself too soon there.
Who stays it still withal?
With tutors in term, and then they perceive not how time moves.
Where dwell you, pretty youth?
With this shepherdess, my sister, here in the skirts of the forest, like fringe upon a petticoat.
And are you native of this place?
As the coney that you see dwell where she is kindled.
Your accent is something finer than you could purchase in so removed a dwelling.
I've been told so of many. But indeed, an old religious uncle of mine taught me to speak, who was in his youth an inland man. One that knew courtship too well, for there he fell in love. I have heard him read many lectures against it, and I thank God I am not a woman to be touched with so many giddy offenses as he has generally taxed their whole sex withal.
I prithee, recount some of them.
No, I will not cast away my physic, but on those that are sick. There is a man haunts the forest that abuses our young plants with carving Rosalind on their barks, hangs odes upon hawthorns and elegies on brambles, all, forsooth, deifying the name of Rosalind. If I could meet that fancy monger, I would give him some good counsel, for he seems to have the quotidian of love upon him.
I am he that is so love-shaped. I pray you, tell me your remedy.
There is none of my uncle's marks upon you. He taught me how to know a man in love, in which cage of rushes. I am sure you are not prisoner.
What were his marks?
A lean cheek, which you have not. A blue eye and sunken, which you have not. An unquestionable spirit, which you have not. A beard, neglected, which you have not. But I pardon you for that, for simply your having a beard is a younger brother's revenue. Then, your hose should be ungartered, your bonnet unbanded, your sleeve unbuttoned, your shoe untied, and everything about you demonstrating a careless desolation. But you are no such man. You are rather point device in your accoutrements, as loving yourself than seeming the lover of any other.
Fair youth, I would I could make thee believe I love.
Me believe it? You may as soon make her that you love believe it, which I warrant she is after to do than to confess she does. That is one of the points in which women still give the lie to their consciences. But, in good sooth, are you he that hangs the verses on the trees, wherein Rosalind is so admired?
I swear to thee, youth, by the white hand of Rosalind, I am that he, that unfortunate he.
But are you so much in love as your rhymes do speak?
Neither rhyme nor reason can express how much.
Love is merely a madness, and I tell you, deserves as well a dark house and a whip as madmen do. And the reason why they are not so punished and cured is that the lunacy is so ordinary that the whippers are in love too. Yet I profess curing it by counsel.
Have you ever cured any so?
Yes, one, and in this manner. He was to imagine me, his love, his mistress, and I set him every day to woo me, at which time would I, being but a moonish youth, breathe, be effeminate, changeable, longing and liking, proud, fantastical, apish, shallow, inconstant, full of tears, full of smiles, for every passion something, and for no passion truly anything, as boys and women are for the most part cattle of this color, would now like, now loathe him, then entertain him, then forswear him, now weep for him, then spit at him, that I drave my suitor from his mad humor of love to a living humor of madness, which was to forswear the full stream of the world and to live in a nook merely monastic. And thus I cured him, and in this way will I take upon myself to wash your liver as clean as a sound sheep's heart. that there shall not be one spot of love in it.
I would not be cured, youth.
I would cure you if you would but call me Rosalind and come every day to my coat and woo me.
Now, by the faith of my love, I will. Tell me where it is.
Go with me to it, and by the way you shall tell me where in the forest you live. Will you go?
Aye, fair youth.
Nay, you must call me Rosalind. Come, sister, will you go?
Come apace, good Audrey. I will fetch your goats, Audrey. And how now, Audrey? Am I the man yet? Doth my simple features content you?
Your features? Lord Warren has what features?
I am here with thee and thy goats, Audrey, as the most capricious poet honest Ovid was among the Goths.
Oh, knowledge ill-inhabited. Worse than Jove in a thatched house.
When a man's verses cannot be understood, nor a man's good wit seconded with a forward child understanding, it strikes a man more dead than a great reckoning in a little room. Oh, I would the gods had me be poetical.
I don't know what poetical is. Is it honest indeed in word? Is it a true thing?
No, truly. For the truest poetry is the most feigning. And lovers are given to poetry. And what they swear in love may be said as lovers they do feign.
Do you wish then that the gods had made me poetical?
I do, truly. For thou hast told me thou art honest. Now, if thou wert a poet, I might have some hope that thou didst feign.
Would you not have me honest?
No, truly. Unless thou wert hard favored. For honesty coupled to beauty, would have honey, a sauce to sugar.
A material fool.
Well, I am not fair, therefore I pray the gods make me honest.
Truly. And cast away honesty upon a foul tart were to put good meat into an unclean dish.
I am not a tart, though I thank the gods I am foul.
Oh, praise be the gods for thy foulness. Tartiness may come hereafter. But be that as it may, I will marry thee. And to that end I've been with Sir Oliver Martex, the vicar of the next village, and he hath promised to meet us here in this place of the forest and to couple us.
Well, the gods give us joy.
Amen! A man may, if he were of a fearful heart, stagger in this attempt. For here we have no temple but the wood, no assembly but the horned beasts. But what thou? Courage. Here comes Sir Oliver. Sir Oliver Martext, you are well met. Will you dispatch us under this tree, or shall we go with you to your chapel?
Is there none here to give the woman?
I will not take on gift of any man!
Truly, she must be given, or the marriage is not lawful.
Proceed, proceed. Oh, give her.
Good even, good master, what you call it? God use you for your last company. I am very glad to see you, sir. Even a toy in hand, sir.
Will you be married, Motley?
As the ox hath his bow, the horse his curb, and the falcon her bells, so man hath his desires. And as pigeons build, so wedlock will be nibbling.
And will you, being a man of your breeding, be married under a bush like a beggar? Get you to church, and have a good priest that can tell you what marriage is. This fellow will but join you as they join wainscot, and then one of you will prove a shrunk panel, and like green timber warp.
I were not of the mind, but I would rather be married of him than of another. For he is not like to marry me well, and not being well married will be a good excuse to hereafter leave my wife.
Go thou with me and let me counsel you.
Come, sweet Audrey, we must be married, or must live in baldry. Farewell, good Master Oliver. Not, oh sweet Oliver, oh brave Oliver. Leave me not behind thee, but wind away. Begone, I say. I will not to wedding with thee.
to me, I will weep.
Do I prithee? But yet have the grace to consider that tears do not become a man.
His very hair is of the dissembling color.
Something browner than Judas's. Mary, his kisses are Judas's own children.
His hair is of a good color.
An excellent color. Your chestnut was ever your only color.
And his kissing is as full of sanctity as the touch of holy bread.
He hath bought a pair of cast lips of Diana. A nun of Winter's sisterhood kisses not more religiously. The very ice of chastity is in them.
Why did he swear he would come this morning, and comes not?
Nay, there is no truth in him.
You think so?
Yes. I do not think he is a pick purse, nor a horse thief. But for his verity and love, I do think him as concave as a covered goblet or a Wormington nut.
Not true in love?
Yes, when he is in, but I think he is not in.
You have heard him swear downright he was.
Was is not is. Besides, the oath of a lover is no stronger than the word of a tapster. They are both the confirmers of false reckonings. He attends here on the forest, and the Duke your father?
I met the Duke yesterday. Had much question with him. He asked me of what parentage I was. I told him I'm as good as he, so he laughed and let me go. But what talk we of fathers? And there's such a man as Orlando.
Oh, that's a brave man. He writes brave verses, speaks brave words, swears brave oaths, and breaks them. Oh, bravely. Quite traverse. Athwart the heart of his lover, as a puny tilter spurs his horse, but on one side breaks his staff like a noble goose. But all's fair that youth mounts and folly guides. Who comes here?
Master and mistress, you have oft inquired after the shepherd who played the glove, who you saw sitting by me on the turf, praising the proud Stangle shepherd. That was his mistress.
Well, and what of him?
If you will see a pageant truly plain between the pale complexion of true love and the red glow of scorn and proud disdain, go hence a little, and I shall conduct you, if you will mark it.
Oh, come, let us remove. The sight of lovers feedeth those in love. Bring us to the sight, and you shall say, I'll prove a busy actor in their play.
Sweet Phoebe! Sweet Phoebe, do not scorn me. Do not, Phoebe. Say that you love me not, but say not so in bitterness. The common executioner, whose heartly accustomed sight of death makes hard, falls not the axe upon the humble neck, but first begs pardon. Will you sterner be than he that dies and lives by bloody drops?
I would not be thy executioner. I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. Thou tells me there is murder in mine eye. 'Tis pretty, sure, and very probable, that eyes that are the frailest and softest things, who shut their coward gates on atomies, should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers! Now, I have frowned on thee with all my heart, and if mine eyes can wound, now let them kill thee! Why? Now counterfeit the swoon. Why now fall down? Or if thou canst not, oh, for shame, why not say mine eyes are murderers? Now, show the wound mine eye hath made me. Scratched with but a pin, and there remains some scar of it. Lean but upon a rush, the cicatrice incapable and pressure thy palm some moment keeps. But now, mine eyes, which I had darted thee, hurt thee not, nor I am sure there is no force in eyes that can do hurt.
Oh dear Phoebe, if ever, as that ever may be near, you meet in some fresh cheek the power of fancy, then shall you know the wounds invisible that love's keen arrows make.
But till that time, come not thou near me. And when that time comes, afflict me with thy mocks, pity me not. For until that time, I shall not pity thee.
And why, I pray you? Who might be your mother, that you insult, exult, and all at once over the wretched? What? though you have no beauty, as by my faith I see no more in you than without candle may go dark to bed. Must you be therefore proud and pitiless? What means this? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than in the ordinary of nature's sin. Odds my little life. I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No, faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brows, your black silk hair, your bugle eyeballs, nor your cheek of cream that can attain my spirits to your worship. You foolish shepherd! Wherefore do you follow her, like foggy south, puffing with wind and rain? You are 1,000 times a properer man than she a woman. 'Tis such fools as you that makes the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her class, but you that flatters her, and out of you she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But mistress, know yourself. Down on your knees, and thank heaven fasting for good man's love. For I must tell you friendly in your ear, sell when you can, on for all markets. Take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to be a scoffer. So take her to thee, shepherd. Fare thee well.
Sweet youth, I pray you, chide here together. I'd rather hear you chide than this man woo.
He's fallen in love with your foulness, and she'll fall in love with my anger. If it be so, as fast as she answers thee with frowning looks, I'll sauce her with bitter words. Why look you so upon me?
For no ill will I bear you.
I pray you, do not fall in love with me, for I am falser than vows made in wine. Besides, I like you not. If you will know my house, it is at the Tuft of Olives here hard by. Come, sister, will you go? Shepherd, lie her hard. Come, sister. Shepherdess, look on him better. Be not proud, though all the world could see. None could be so abused in sight as he. Come to our farm.
Dead shepherd, now I find I saw of might. Whoever loved that loved not at first sight.
Sweet Phoebe,
Huh, what sayest thou, Sylvius?
sweet Phoebe, pity me.
Why, I am sorry for thee, gentle Sylvius.
Wherever sorrow is, relief would be. If you do sorrow at my grief and love, by giving love, your sorrow and my grief are both exterminated.
Thou hast my love, is not that neighborly?
I would have you.
Why, that were covetousness. Sylvius, the time was that I hated thee, and yet it is not that I bear thee love. But since that thou canst talk of love so well, thy company, which erst was irksome to me, I'll endure, and I'll employ thee too. But do not look for further recompense than thine own goddess thou art employed.
So holy and so perfect is my love. And I, in such a poverty of grace, shall think in a most plenteous crop, to glean the broken ears after the man that the main harvest reaps. Loose now and then a scattered smile, and that I'll live upon.
Knowest thou the youth that spoke to me erewhile?
Not very well, but I've met him off. He hath bought the cottage and the bounds that the old Carlet once was master of.
Think not I love him, though I ask him. 'Tis but a peevish boy. Yet he talks well. Yet what care I for words? Yet words do well when he that speaks them pleases those that hear. It is a pretty youth. Not very pretty. But sure he's proud. And yet his pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. The best thing is his complexion. And faster than his tongue to make offense, his eye to heal it up. He's not very tall. Yet for his years he's tall. His leg is but so-so. and yet 'tis well. There was a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper and more lusty red than that mixed in his cheek. It was just the difference between the constant red and the mingled demands. There be some women, Sylvius, had they marked him in parcels as I did, would have gone near to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not. And yet I have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what had he to do to chide at me? He said mine eyes were black and my hair black. And now I am remembered, scorned at me. I marvel why I answer not again. But that's all one. Admittance is no quittance. I'll write him a very taunting letter, and thou shalt bear it. Wilt thou, Sylvius?
Phoebe, with all my heart.
I'll write it straight. The matter's in my head and in my heart. I will be bitter with him and pass him short. Go with me.
So we will have a 10-minute intermission. I mean 10 minutes.